What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm bringing you the finals of last night's RMC locals. This is going to be between myself on the right playing Gabumon, and then on the left we will be having Jesmon, a player that I've played a couple times playing in BT6 with the Jesmon, but this is going to be our first time matching up in the EX1. Obviously got a couple new tools on each side, Gabumon having the also powerful Ice Wall, and Jesmon getting things like emergency program shutdown in the new EX1 Biomon. But getting on into it, I'm going to start off with Gabu and Tai, which is going to be the combo that you're trying to look for. We're going to see a Huckmon, and they're going to bottom deck. They're going to grab two Saviors, but they're going to bottom deck two Tais, and that might end up being very impactful later in this, so we'll keep that in mind. But I'm going to be able to promote game one, draw one. I'm just going to swing and draw with the Upamon, swing into Jesmon, so going down, didn't really expect to live there, just wanted to get the draw. Going to play down the Madoki now because I want to shut off that red memory boost that just got played, especially after I saw two Tais go to the bottom, and then Hammer Spark to 2 so I can play the draw Gabu, go to 1, and just choke my opponent without them able to use the red memory boost. My opponent will put me at 2. I can go into EX1 Gabu, which helps set up something that I can promote next turn, get extra resources, especially with the map, but I can't really swing in right now because the Blanc will be able to block with the Huckmon on the board. So once again, I want to continue to choke my opponent, so I'm going to Spark up to 3 using yet another Spark, so that way I can Davis them to 1, make it so if that they want to start to build up into Jesmon, they're only going to be able to get 1 stage up. They can go to Champion, and then next turn I want them to only be able to go up into Ultimate, and then only go up to Mega, and so on and so forth, so that the progression to Jesmon is as slow as possible. Going to be able to promote game 1, draw 1 here. Thinking about what I want to Digivolve into, but I know I want to Digivolve something on top of this EX1 Gabu, so that way I can try and get some value going. So I decided to go with the Kendo, so that way I can swing and bounce back the Blanc. Don't really want to bounce back the Huckmon because they can get extra good value off of that, and Gabumon's going to hit. I'm deciding if I want Davis or a Gabumon. Decide to go with the Davis, so that way I can get some more potential tamers on board for if I want to go into my hybrids, because I do remember I believe I have a couple of hybrids in hand, which is why I decided to go into the Kendo. And so now we go into the Octomon, once again putting my opponent at 1 with the Madoki on board, just trying to choke them as much as possible, and we're really starting to see where bottom decking those two Tais at the early game is starting to come in big, because if they had one of those Tais out, this would have been a very different game. I do believe they are playing 3 Tais in the deck, so putting 2 of them to the bottom is very rough, but I'm just going to continue to put them at 1 every turn. The Judgment of the Blade hit does make it so that they can slow down this choking, because they can Judgment of the Blade on Huckmon and swing over, which is what we see them do, and then they can finally go ahead and use delay on that memory boost that they've had for so long, and go up to 2, and I'm wondering what they're going to do here. They're going to start to develop up. The 2 makes us then go to Bowhuck, and then they go into Savior, putting me at 3. I'd go to 3 with the Davis anyway, so that makes sense, but they did pop their red memory boost, and still no Tai on the board, so at this point I can now just put them at 1, and I don't even need to worry about them gaining memory. I'll just be able to continue to memory choke them. So I'm going to swing in, get as many checks as possible, and then play the Davis to once again put them at 1. We see another Ice Wall go to the bottom. I believe that's the second or third Ice Wall that has gone to the bottom from my searches, but it might not matter too much because my opponent's going to swing over Kendo this turn, and next turn I'm going to be able to promote with the Gabumon, go to 4. I would be able to swing in with the Gabumon to get that last check, and then go in with either a Kendo or a Lobo, and even if they played something like a Blanc to get a blocker, I would still be able to go into double Lobo for the game here. So I'm going to swing in, get the last check, and then go into Lobomon for the game to be able to seal up game 1. So we really saw the memory choking coming in very clutch that game. Pretty much shut down just about everything that my opponent could do. If they wanted to progress, they had to resort to trying to play a bunch of rookies, so that way they could at least get some presence on the board and start to gain some advantage and get some aggression going. But things like Kendo were able to slow it down, Octomon being something, again, kind of hard for my opponent to get over. But now I can go into the Davis. My opponent's going to put me at 3. I'm going to continue to keep putting them at 1 as much as possible, but this time I don't have the Madoki, so they can go ahead and pop that red memory boost if they choose. Go ahead and find a multitude of targets off this Huckmon and decide to go with the Bow and the Jesmon. which I don't want to see them getting the Jesmon, but as of right now, I can still continue to try and choke them each turn, so that way they aren't getting too much progression. They have the red memory boost, and unless I get the Madoki to come out, then I'm not going to be able to stop that. We saw me just bottom deck one of the Madokis, so I'm going to have to find the other one, only playing 2 in this list if I want to shut off that red memory boost, but even so, I can just put them at 1 with the Gabumon anyway. If they want to use their memory boost, that's fine, because once they use it once, it's gone. I don't have to worry about it as much, and the Hammer Sparks in this matchup aren't going to be as important, especially when I have Davis out, because I do have memory now, at least 3 every turn, which is a lot, really all I need, and so not too worried about using up these Hammer Sparks to go ahead and choke my opponent, make it so that they have to use up their memory boost, so that I can just get it gone off the board and continue to choke them going forward and make it so they have little progression until tie comes out, of course. Once tie comes out, this game changes completely, but as of right now, I can just continue to mostly put them at 1 every single turn as frequently as I can, so that way my opponent just gets as little value as possible. Gonna go ahead and grab BT6 Gabu off the EX1 Gabu effect, which is perfect because now I can play the BT6 Gabu that I just got and then play Matt, and then the once per turn effect of the Gabumons are going to make it so that way I can gain 1 memory for each, effectively playing Matt for just 1, putting my opponent at just 1 once again, and having a Gabumon in raising, so that way when I promote next turn, I can go ahead and have the memory gain from Matt, and I can also go ahead and have the BT6 Gabu on the board to prepare to go into Bond if I need to, instead of going to the EX1 Gabu, but they do get Atomic Blastered away, so no BT6 Gabu, which means that I can't get the triple swings in right there, but I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve into the Kendo here, so that way I can continue to get value off these 2 EX1 Gabus I have the board. I can also Spark up to 3 and Howling on the Bauhuck, so that way I'm also getting Upamon draws, so now I'm going to draw with Upa, search with EX1 Gabu, be able to get a Matt, and I would have done it again with the Octo if the Judgment of the Blade didn't come out and play the Seal, but it's not that big of a deal because once again my opponent's only at 1. They did get to end my turn, that turn without being able to swing in with the Octomon, but they're still at little progression. They can swing, or they can promote with the Rookie in the back if they want, but unless they Digivolve on top of it, then it's just going to get bounced back with the Kendo. They're going to Digivolve, put me at 1, and then I go to 3 with the Davis. And now I'm going to be able to go in with some more value. I'm going to be able to swing in with Octomon, draw with the Upa, search with EX1 Gabu. Does go down to the Savior, unfortunately, but once again, I can swing with the Kendo, draw with Upa, swing, search with the EX1 Gabu. We can see how much value is going in. I'm pretty much searching through like half of my deck at least right now. And again, that one does go down as well, but that's not that big of a deal because next turn I'm going to be able to promote Gabumon. I just hit Bond off the EX1 Gabu, so I for sure have that set up. I can go ahead and play something for 3. I'm deciding if I want to play the Howling or if I want to play Matt, and so that way I shut down the Howling on the Bauhuck so I can attack, plus next turn I'm going to be able to go to minimum 4, be able to gain 4 more memory, go into Bond, plus 2 hybrids 100%, and then I'm going to play down the first Ice Wall of the game, put my opponent at 1, and that one's just probably going to seal it up. They haven't been able to get in any early checks. Next turn I'm going to go into Bond no matter what, and so they just play the Gilmon. They could go into Savior Huckmon as well, but it's all going to come down to the same thing. I'm going to be able to go into Bond, trash, swing, bottom deck the Bauhuck, unsuspend, and then swing, unsuspend, swing, and that is going to be it. Plus I have so much memory to go into hybrids after that, but that is going to be this finals. You can see how important it is to hit your tie in this matchup because you will get choked a lot, especially now with the addition of Ice Wall. It's much easier to choke them at 1, and even a more ridiculous way where it makes it so you can't even attack without passing the turn. So that is going to be this match. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'll be bringing you even more EX1 content. I've also been streaming a bunch on Twitch, so if you want even more live content, tournament runs, testing, deck building, be sure to follow me on Twitch. The link will be in the description. But with that being said, I hope you have a great day. Peace out.